I can definitely value a college education, but I would want my kids to do something that'll pay them, because ultimately you're just wasting time and money if you're just going to college just to go.
You've been watching our videos for a while. You know we're trying to pay off our mortgage, we're trying to live a debt-free lifestyle and just ultimately get to financial freedom. So with us having kids, of course we want to set them up for success as well. We don't want them following in our same footsteps that we had. If you watch our videos, you know Dennis had about $80,000 of student loan debt. It's not something that we want to force our kids to also do. We definitely don't want our kids to have to take out student loans at all. As you all know, student loans are a hot topic right now. A lot of people are feeling very strapped down by their student loan debt, and it can be very detrimental to their finances. I know when we were not paying on the student loans yet, I was feeling stressed out. I know Dennis was feeling stressed out as well about having this huge mountain of debt and trying to figure out how we're going to pay it off. And with us, some of it was having an interest rate that was increasing every quarter. So that's not something that we want our kids to have to deal with at all. So we've been talking a little bit over the years about setting up a 529 for our kids. If you don't know what a 529 is,
Basically, a 529 is a tax advantaged account, investment account, that you can put money in after taxes, and then it grows tax-free. And for qualified withdrawals, it's also tax-free. So it's essentially a win-win. You put money in, it grows. You don't have to pay taxes on the growth, and you don't have to pay taxes when you withdraw it. That can be a great tool for your kids to use once they start college. And it's not just for college, it can be used for trade schools, vocational schools, certain certificate programs that are accredited. So there's many options for you, and it's really flexible.
And last year in 2022, it was announced that in 2024, you can use a certain amount of that money to put into a Roth IRA if it's not used for college expenses, school expenses, things like that. So that's something that I could really relate to, because I know that if it was something that was set up for me myself, I never went to college. So it wasn't something that I would have used for school. And it's very possible that one or both or either one of our kids could end up not going to school. So it's a good assurance knowing that there's still something that they could use the money for.
And we're setting this account up with the idea that when they do want to use it, that they use it for a major that will earn them a job that'll pay them in the future. There's a lot of college majors out there that people go to college just to go to college for. They don't necessarily get a job after they finish college in that field. And we definitely don't want our kids to do that. I can definitely value a college education, but I would want my kids to do something that'll pay them, because ultimately you're just wasting time and money if you're just going to college just to go.
Now, I know that some people take advantage of a 529 as soon as their kid's born. Some people I've heard even do it before they even have kids, and they just put it in their name and then switch the beneficiary later. But like we said, this isn't something that we had or were educated on. We actually had to educate ourselves on this and figure out how it works, because we want to put our kids in the best possible position. So even with us starting this 529 now, we still have a great amount of time for compound interest to do its thing and end up having a great amount of money for them once school time starts. Right now, what we want to do is start small and just start it up. So if you're new, our kids are 6 and 2. How we feel is better late than never with getting started. Right now, we want to start small. And like we spoke about recently, I did get a bonus from work. We're using a little bit of that money to just get us started with $100 each. We don't plan to consistently contribute until the house is paid off. But as you guys know, that is coming up very soon in a couple of years. At that point, our oldest will be 8, but that still gives us at least 10 years to start contributing consistently, and we'll have a lot more money at our disposal with a paid off house.
And that's the whole point of us going on this mortgage payoff journey. We just want more control over our money and the freedom to decide where we want it to go. With it not being tied to the mortgage, we can decide how much we want to give to their 529, how much we want to save, how much we want to spend on things and give away. and just things like that. If you guys don't already know, we live in Ohio. Ohio is one of about 24 or so states that offers a tax deduction for contributions to a 529. So for Ohio, it's called the Ohio's 529 College Advantage Plan. And for our state, if you contribute up to $4,000 a year, you're able to deduct that from your state taxes. And if you contribute more than that a year, you can roll that over into the next year. So let's say if you were to contribute $5,000 that year to the 529, you could deduct $4,000 from that year's taxes, and automatically the next year's taxes, you'll have $1,000 to deduct. I would encourage you to check with the CPA to see your specific tax liability, and also your state's going to be different from Ohio. So I would encourage you to look up your state's information as well. We'll include links to these as well in the description box. There's many things to invest in a 529 plan. It's kind of like a brokerage account where you can invest in stocks and ETFs and bonds. What we're going to invest in is a target enrollment date fund. And basically what that is it calculates the year your kid is supposed to start college. It starts off more aggressively in the beginning, and then as time goes on, it gets more conservative so it can preserve the money that you've built and preserve the earnings that grew within the account. So that's what's going to work for us, and we're really excited to get started. I remember when I was first starting college and I took out a bunch of loans to supplement some of the scholarships and grants I got. But it would have been nice knowing I had some extra money to pay for books and tuition if I needed it. That way I didn't have to go into all that debt. And that's just what we want for our kids.
We definitely encourage you all to look into a 529 or other options that are out there as well for your kids, just because the cost of college, it's going to keep going up. It's going to keep increasing. I feel like it's already terribly expensive. So I'm imagining how much it's going to be in 10 plus years when one of our kids actually goes to college. It's going to be a lot more money. Student loan situation right now, it's definitely considered a crisis, and it's affecting people's mental health and their ability to pay for housing, paying for groceries. Just it's impacting their finances in general. Not something that we want for our kids, and I feel that we're obligated while we're doing so much for our financial success and setting ourselves up to have no mortgage. The next people in line is going to be our kids, and we don't want them to have to struggle or deal with anything like that. So this is a little bit of what it looks like if you're in Ohio. Again, it's going to look different for other states, but a lot of the information that you'll need with signing up, it talks about your beneficiary, who it's for. We're going to end up setting up for 2 of them for both kids, and who's going to be the adult who's managing it. You know, all the personal information you'll need, name, address, social, and how you're going to do your investments, things like that. So we officially set up one of the accounts. We still have to make another one for our other son, but this is kind of what it looks like. Balance still shows us 0 because the payment that we made is still pending and everything, but it's pretty straightforward. It probably took us like 10 minutes to get everything set up for the first one. It let you just withdraw it from your bank account. This shows that our $100 deposit that we made is pending, and about when it would post the account. It shows you like the shares and the price of that and everything like that. And it gives you options. I think one of the coolest things you can do is make it so someone can gift your child money towards the account. It's very good if you're someone in your family is gifting your child money and things like that for their birthdays, Christmas. Now they can really just save towards their future, which is very nice. So I definitely think they're going to be using that in the future for birthdays and things like that. So it's pretty cool. Definitely comment down below, let us know what you think, and we're going to get started with setting it up for our other son. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.